Sahi Bukhari, Book 2, Belief. Number 7. Narrated Ibn Umar, Allah's Apostle said, Islam is based on the following 5 principles. 1. To testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, is Allah's Apostle. 2. To offer the compulsory congregational prayers dutifully and perfectly. 3. To pay zakah, that is, obligatory charity. 4. To perform hajj, that is, pilgrimage to Mecca. 5. To observe fast during the month of Ramadan. Number 8. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet said, Faith, belief, consists of more than 60 branches, that is, parts, and haya. This term, haya, covers a large number of concepts which are to be taken together. Amongst them are self-respect, modesty, bashfulness, and scruple, etc., is a part of faith. Number 9. Narrated Abdullāh bin Amr, the Prophet said, A Muslim is the one who avoids harming Muslims with his tongue and hands, and a muhajir, emigrant, is the one who gives up, abandons all what Allah has forbidden. Number 10. Narrated Abu Musa. Some people asked Allah's Apostle, Whose Islam is the best? That is, who's a very good Muslim? He replied, One who avoids harming the Muslims with his tongue and hands. Number 11. Narrated Abdullāh bin Amr. A man asked the Prophet, What sort of deeds or what qualities of Islam are good? The Prophet replied, To feed the poor and greet those whom you know and those whom you do not know. Number 12. Narrated Anas. The Prophet said, None of you will have faith till he wishes for his Muslim brother what he likes for himself. Number 13. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, By him in whose hands my life is, none of you will have faith till he loves me more than his father and his children. Number 14. Narrated Anas. The Prophet said, None of you will have faith till he loves me more than his father, his children, and all mankind. Number 15. Narrated Anas. The Prophet said, Whoever possesses the following 3 qualities will have the sweetness, delight of faith. 1. The one to whom Allah and His Apostle becomes dearer than anything else. 2. Who loves a person and he loves him only for Allah's sake. 3. Who hates to revert to atheism, disbelief, as he hates to be thrown into the fire. Number 16. Narrated Anas. The Prophet said, Love for the Ansar is a sign of faith, and hatred for the Ansar is a sign of hypocrisy. Narrated Ubadah bin As-Samit, who took part in the Battle of Badr and was a Naqib, a person heading a group of 6 persons on the night of Al-Aqaba pledge. Allah's Apostle said, while a group of his companions were around him, Swear allegiance to me for 1. Not to join anything in worship along with Allah. 2. Not to steal. 3. Not to commit illegal sexual intercourse. 4. Not to kill your children. 5. Not to accuse an innocent person, to spread such an accusation among people. 6. Not to be disobedient, when ordered to do a good deed. The Prophet added, Whoever among you fulfills his pledge will be rewarded by Allah, and whoever indulges in any one of them, except the ascription to partners to Allah, and gets the punishment in this world, that punishment will be an expiation for that sin. And if one indulges in any of them and Allah conceals his sin, it is up to him to forgive or punish him in the hereafter. Ubadah bin As-Samit added, So we swore allegiance for these, points to Allah's Apostle. Number 18. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah's Apostle said, A time will come that the best property of a Muslim will be sheep which he will take on the top of mountains and the places of rainfall, valleys, so as to flee with his religion from afflictions. Number 19. Narrated Aisha, whenever Allah's Apostle ordered the Muslims to do something, he used to order them deeds which were easy for them to do, according to their strength and endurance. They said, "O Allah's Apostle, we are not like you. Allah has forgiven your past and future sins." So Allah's Apostle became angry, and it was apparent on his face. He said, "I am the most Allah-fearing, and know Allah better than all of you do." Number 20. Narrated Anas. The Prophet said, "Whoever possesses the following 3 qualities will taste the sweetness of faith. 1. The one to whom Allah and His Apostle become dearer than anything else. 2. Who loves a person and he loves him only for Allah's sake. 3. Who hates to revert to disbelief, atheism, after Allah has saved him out from it, as he hates to be thrown in fire." Number 21. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, the Prophet said, "When the people of paradise will enter paradise, and the people of hell will go to hell, Allah will order those who have had faith equal to the weight of a grain of a mustard seed to be taken out from hell. So they will be taken out, but by then they will be blackened, charred. Then they will be put in the river of Haya, rain, or Hayat, life. The narrator is in doubt as to which is the right term, and they will revive like a grain that grows near the bank of a flood channel. Don't you see that it comes out yellow and twisted?" Number 22. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Allah's Apostle said, "While I was sleeping, I saw, in a dream, some people wearing shirts of which some were reaching up to the breasts, only while others were even shorter than that. Omar bin al-Khattab was shown wearing a shirt that he was dragging. The people asked, 'How do you interpret it? What is its interpretation, O Allah's Apostle?' He, the Prophet, replied, 'It is the religion.'" Number 23. Narrated Abdullāh bin Umar, once Allah's Apostle passed by an Ansari man who was admonishing to his brother regarding Haya. On that, Allah's Apostle said, "Leave him, as Haya is a part of faith." Number 24. Narrated Ibn Umar, Allah's Apostle said, "I have been ordered by Allah to fight against the people until they testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is Allah's Apostle, and offer the prayers perfectly, and give the obligatory charity. So if they perform that, then they save their lives and property from me except for Islamic laws, and then their reckoning, accounts, will be done by Allah." Number 25. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Apostle was asked, "What is the best deed?" He replied, "To believe in Allah and His Apostle, Muhammad, peace be upon him." The questioner then asked, "What is the next in goodness?" He replied, "To participate in jihad, religious fighting, in Allah's cause." The questioner again asked, "What is the next in goodness?" He replied, "To perform Hajj Mabrur, pilgrimage to Mecca, which is accepted by Allah and is performed with the intention of seeking Allah's pleasure only and not to show off and without committing a sin and in accordance with the traditions of the Prophet." Number 26. Narrated Sa'd, Allah's Apostle distributed zakah amongst a group of people while I was sitting there, but Allah's Apostle left a man whom I thought the best of the lot. I asked, "O Allah's Apostle, why have you left that person? By Allah, I regard him as a faithful believer." The Prophet commented, "Or merely a Muslim?" I remained quiet for a while, but could not help repeating my question because of what I knew about him, and then asked Allah's Apostle, "Why have you left so-and-so? By Allah, he is a faithful believer." The Prophet again said, "Or merely a Muslim?" And I could not help repeating my question because of what I knew about him. Then the Prophet said, "O Sa'd, I give to a person while another is dearer to me for fear that he might be thrown on his face in the fire by Allah." Number 27. Narrated Abdullāh bin Amr, a person asked Allah's Apostle, "What sort of deeds in or what qualities of Islam are good?" He replied, "To feed the poor and greet those whom you know and those whom you do not know." Number 28. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet said, "I was shown the hellfire and that the majority of its dwellers were women who were ungrateful. It was asked, 'Do they disbelieve in Allah or are they ungrateful to Allah?' He replied, 'They are ungrateful to their husbands and are ungrateful for the favors and the good charitable deeds done to them. If you have always been good, benevolent to one of them, and then she sees something in you, not of her liking, she will say, 'I have never received any good from you.'" Number 29. Narrated Al-Ma'rur, "At Ar-Rabda, I met Abu Dharr who was wearing a cloak and his slave too was wearing a similar one. I asked about the reason for it. He replied, 'I abused a person by calling his mother with bad names. The Prophet said to me, "O Abu Dharr, did you abuse him by calling his mother with bad names? You still have some characteristics of ignorance. Your slaves are your brothers, and Allah has put them under your command. So whoever has a brother under his command should feed him of what he eats and dress him of what he wears. Do not ask them, slaves, to do things beyond their capacity, power, and if you do so, then help them." Number 30. Narrated Al-Ahnaf bin Qais, "While I was going to help this man, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Abu Bakr met me and asked, 'Where are you going?' I replied, 'I'm going to help that person.' He said, 'Go back, for I have heard Allah's Apostle saying, when two Muslims meet each other with their swords, both the murderer as well as the murdered will go to the hellfire.' I said, 'O Allah's Apostle, it is all right for the murderer, but what about the murdered one?' Allah's Apostle replied, 'He surely had the intention to kill his companion.'" Number 31. Narrated Abdullāh, when the following verse was revealed, "It is those who believe and confuse not their belief with wrong, worshipping others besides Allah." The companions of Allah's Apostle asked, "Who is amongst us who had not done injustice, wrong?" Allah revealed, "No doubt, joining others in worship with Allah is a great injustice, wrong indeed." Number 32. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet said, "The signs of a hypocrite are three. 1. Whenever he speaks, he tells a lie. 2. Whenever he promises, he always breaks it, his promise. 3. If you trust him, he proves to be dishonest. If you keep something as a trust with him, he will not return it." Number 33. Narrated Abdullāh bin Amr, the Prophet said, "Whoever has the following four characteristics will be a pure hypocrite, and whoever has one of the following four characteristics will have one characteristic of hypocrisy unless and until he gives it up. 1. Whenever he is entrusted, he betrays. 2. Whenever he speaks, he tells a lie. 3. Whenever he makes a covenant, he proves treacherous. 4. Whenever he quarrels, he behaves in a very imprudent, evil, and insulting manner." Number 34. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Apostle said, "Whoever establishes the prayers on the night of Qadr out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, not to show off, then all his past sins will be forgiven." Number 35. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet said, "The person who participates in holy battles in Allah's cause, and nothing compels him to do so except belief in Allah and His Apostles, will be recompensed by Allah either with a reward or the spoils of war if he survives, or will be admitted to paradise if he is killed in the battle as a martyr. Had I not found it difficult for my followers, then I would not remain behind any Sariya going for jihad, and I would have loved to be martyred in Allah's cause, and then made alive, and then martyred, and then made alive, and then again martyred in His cause." Number 36. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Apostle said, "Whoever establishes prayers during the nights of Ramadan faithfully out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, not for showing off, all his past sins will be forgiven." Number 37. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Apostle said, "Whoever observes fasts during the month of Ramadan out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, then all his past sins will be forgiven." Number 38. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet said, "Religion is very easy, and whoever overburdens himself in his religion will not be able to continue in that way. So you should not be extremists, but try to be near to perfection and receive the good tidings that you will be rewarded, and gain strength by worshiping in the mornings, the nights." Number 39. Narrated Al-Bara bin Azib, when the Prophet came to Medina, he stayed first with his grandfathers or maternal uncles from Ansar. He offered his prayers facing Bayt al-Maqdis, Jerusalem, for 16 or 17 months, but he wished that he could pray facing the Kaaba at Mecca. The first prayer which he offered facing the Kaaba was the Asr prayer in the company of some people. Then one of those who had offered that prayer with him came out and passed by some people in a mosque who were bowing during their prayers facing Jerusalem. He said, addressing them, "By Allah, I testify that I have prayed with Allah's Apostle facing Mecca, Kaaba." Hearing that, those people changed their direction towards the Kaaba immediately. Jews and the people of the scriptures used to be pleased to see the Prophet facing Jerusalem in prayers, but when he changed his direction towards the Kaaba during the prayers, they disapproved of it. Al-Bara added, "Before we changed our directions towards the Kaaba, Mecca, in prayers, some Muslims had died or had been killed, and we did not know what to say about them regarding their prayers. Allah then revealed, 'And Allah would never make your faith, prayers, to be lost.' That is, the prayers of those Muslims were valid." Number 40. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Apostle said, "If any one of you improve, follow strictly his Islamic religion, then his good deeds will be rewarded 10 times to 700 times for each good deed, and a bad deed will be recorded as it is." Number 41. Narrated Aisha, "Once the Prophet came while a woman was sitting with me. He said, 'Who is she?' I replied, 'She is so-and-so,' and told him about her excessive praying. He said disapprovingly, 'Do good deeds which is within your capacity without being overtaxed, as Allah does not get tired of giving rewards, but surely you will get tired, and the best deed, act of worship in the sight of Allah, is that which is done regularly.'" Number 42. Narrated Anas, the Prophet said, "Whoever said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah,' and has in his heart good faith equal to the weight of a barley grain, will be taken out of hell. And whoever said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah,' and has in his heart good faith equal to the weight of a wheat grain, will be taken out of hell. And whoever said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah,' and has in his heart good faith equal to the weight of an atom, will be taken out of hell." Number 43. Narrated Umar bin al-Khattab, "Once a Jew said to me, 'O the chief of believers, there is a verse in your holy book which is read by all of you Muslims, and had it been revealed to us, we would have taken that day on which it was revealed as a day of celebration.' Umar bin al-Khattab asked, 'Which is that verse?' The Jew replied, 'This day I have perfected your religion for you, completed my favor upon you, and have chosen for you Islam as your religion.' Umar replied, 'No doubt, we know when and where this verse was revealed to the Prophet. It was Friday, and the Prophet was standing at Arafat, that is, the day of Hajj." Number 44. Narrated Talha bin Ubaidullah, A man from Najd with unkempt hair came to Allah's apostle, and we heard his loud voice, but could not understand what he was saying till he came near, and then we came to know that he was asking about Islam. Allah's apostle said, "You have to offer prayers perfectly 5 times in a day and night, 24 hours. The man asked, "Is there any more praying?" Allah's apostle replied, "No, but if you want to offer the nawafil prayers, you can." Allah's apostle further said to him, "You have to observe fasts during the month of Ramadan." The man asked, "Is there any more fasting?" Allah's apostle replied, "No, but if you want to observe the nawafil fasts, you can." Then Allah's apostle further said to him, "You have to pay the zakah, obligatory charity." The man asked, "Is there anything other than the zakah for me to pay?" Allah's apostle replied, "No, unless you want to give alms of your own." And then that man retreated, saying, "By Allah, I will neither do less nor more than this." Allah's apostle said, "If what he said is true, then he will be successful. That is, he will be granted paradise." Number 45. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's apostle said, "A believer who accompanies the funeral procession of a Muslim out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's reward and remains with it till the funeral prayer is offered and the burial ceremonies are over, he will return with a reward of 2 qirats. Each qirat is like the size of the Mount Uhud. He who offers the funeral prayer only and returns before the burial will return with the reward of 1 qirat only." Number 46. Narrated Abdullāh, the Prophet said, "Abusing a Muslim is fusak, an evil-doing, and killing him is kufr, disbelief." Narrated Ubadah bin As-Samit, Allah's apostle went out to inform the people about the date of the night of decree, al-Qadr, but there happened to be a quarrel between 2 Muslim men. The Prophet said, "I came out to inform you about the date of the night of al-Qadr, but as so-and-so and so-and-so quarreled, its knowledge was taken away. I forgot it, and maybe it was better for you. Now look for it in the 7th, the 9th, and the 5th of the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan." Number 47. Narrated Abu Hurairah, one day, while the Prophet was sitting in the company of some people, the angel Gabriel came and asked, "What is faith?" Allah's apostle replied, "Faith is to believe in Allah, His angels, the meeting with Him, His apostles, and to believe in resurrection." Then he further asked, "What is Islam?" Allah's apostle replied, "To worship Allah alone and none else, to offer prayers perfectly, to pay the compulsory charity, zakah, and to observe fasts during the month of Ramadan." Then he further asked, "What is ihsan?" Perfection. Allah's apostle replied, "To worship Allah as if you see Him, and if you cannot achieve this state of devotion, then you must consider that He is looking at you." Then he further asked, "When will the hour be established?" Allah's apostle replied, "The answerer has no better knowledge than the questioner, but I will inform you about its portents. 1. When a slave, lady, gives birth to her master. 2. When the shepherds of black camels start boasting and competing with others in the construction of higher buildings. And the hour is one of 5 things which nobody knows except Allah." The Prophet then recited, "Verily, with Allah alone is the knowledge of the hour." Then that man, Gabriel, left, and the Prophet asked his companions to call him back, but they could not see him. Then the Prophet said, "That was Gabriel, who came to teach the people their religion." Abu Abdullah said, "He, the Prophet, considered all that as a part of faith." Number 48. Narrated Abdullāh bin Abbas, I was informed by Abu Sufyan that Heraclius said to him, "I asked you whether they, followers of Muhammad, peace be upon him, were increasing or decreasing. You replied that they were increasing, and in fact, this is the way of true faith till it is complete in all respects. I further asked you whether there was anybody who, after embracing his, the Prophet's religion, Islam, became displeased and discarded it. You replied in the negative, and in fact, this is a sign of true faith. When its delight enters the heart and mixes with them completely, nobody can be displeased with it. Number 49. Narrated on Nu'man bin Bashir, I heard Allah's apostles saying, both legal and illegal things are evident, but in between them there are doubtful, suspicious things, and most of the people have no knowledge about them. So whoever saves himself from these suspicious things saves his religion and his honor. And whoever indulges in these suspicious things is like a shepherd who grazes his animals near the hima, private pasture of someone else, and at any moment he is liable to get in it. O people, beware. Every king has a hima, and the hima of Allah on the earth is his illegal, forbidden things. Beware, there is a piece of flesh in the body. If it becomes good, reformed, the whole body becomes good. But if it gets spoiled, the whole body gets spoiled, and that is the heart. Number 50. Narrated Abu Jamra, I used to sit with Ibn Abbas, and he made me sit on his sitting place. He requested me to stay with him in order that he might give me a share from his property. So I stayed with him for 2 months. Once he told me that when the delegation of the tribe of Abdullāh came to the Prophet asked them, who are the people, that is you, or who are the delegates? They replied, we are from the tribe of Rabi'a. Then the Prophet said to them, welcome, O people, or O delegation of Abdullāh. Neither will you have disgrace, nor will you regret. They said, O Allah's apostle, we cannot come to you except in the sacred month, and there is the infidel tribe of Mudar intervening between you and us. So, please order us to do something good, religious deeds, so that we may inform our people whom we have left behind at home, and that we may enter paradise by acting on them. Then they asked about drinks, what is legal and what is illegal. The Prophet ordered them to do 4 things, and forbade them from 4 things. He ordered them to believe in Allah alone, and asked them, do you know what is meant by believing in Allah alone? They replied, Allah and His Apostle know better. Thereupon the Prophet said, it means, 1, to testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, is Allah's apostle. 2, to offer prayers perfectly. 3, to pay the zakah, obligatory charity. 4, to observe fast during the month of Ramadan. 5, and to pay al-khumus, 1/5 of the spoils of war to be given in Allah's cause. Then he forbade them 4 things, namely, hantam, duba, nakiran, muzaffat, or muqayyir. These were the names of pots in which alcoholic drinks were prepared. The Prophet mentioned the container of wine, and he meant the wine itself. The Prophet further said to them, memorize them, these instructions, and convey them to the people whom you have left behind. Number 51. Narrated Umar bin al-Khattab, Allah's apostle said, the reward of deeds depends upon the intention, and every person will get the reward according to what he has intended. So whoever emigrated for Allah and His apostle, then his emigration was for Allah and His apostle. And whoever emigrated for worldly benefits or for a woman to marry, his emigration was for what he emigrated for. Number 52. Narrated Abu Masud, the Prophet said, if a man spends on his family with the intention of having a reward from Allah, sincerely for Allah's sake, then it is a kind of almsgiving in reward for him. Number 53. Narrated Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, Allah's apostle said, you will be rewarded for whatever you spend for Allah's sake, even if it were a morsel which you put in your wife's mouth. Number 54. Narrated Jarir bin Abdullāh, I gave the pledge of allegiance to Allah's apostle for the following. 1. Offer prayers perfectly. 2. Pay the zakah, obligatory charity. 3. And be sincere and true to every Muslim. Number 55. Narrated Ziyad bin Ilaka, I heard Jarir bin Abdullāh praising Allah. On the day when al-Mughīrah bin Shu'bah died, he, Jarir, got up on the pulpit and thanked and praised Allah and said, Be afraid of Allah alone, who has none along with him to be worshipped. You should be calm and quiet till the new chief comes to you, and he will come to you soon. Ask Allah's forgiveness for your late chief, because he himself loved to forgive others. Jarir added, Amma ba'd. Now then, I went to the Prophet and said, I give my pledge of allegiance to you for Islam. The Prophet conditioned my pledge for me to be sincere and true to every Muslim, so I gave my pledge to him for this. By the Lord of this mosque, I am sincere and true to you Muslims. Then Jarir asked for Allah's forgiveness and came down from the pulpit.